Hello, in this short video we are going to solve the following A-level problem on differentiation rules related to Mathematics 4 course. This video is made in response to a viewer's request. Consider the following function as you see on the display now. Determine f prime of x. Pause the video at this point and give it a try. Okay, we want to differentiate this function. Immediately we see that this is a fraction, so you might think about the quotient rule. The derivative of the numerator multiplied by the denominator itself minus the derivative of the denominator multiplied by the numerator itself all over denominator squared. Of course this is true, but I hope that you can see because of the structure of the given function it would be very tedious. So before start doing that, I will always recommend you to take a step backward and see that if you can find a wiser, more efficient way. And if you do that, you immediately realize it is possible in this case. I will multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator to rationalize the denominator. And this function becomes much simpler, as you will see now. So what I will do, I would say that f of x equals to square root of x squared plus square root of x squared minus 1 divided by square root of x squared plus 1 minus the square root of x squared minus 1. But now I rescale my fraction by the conjugate of the denominator, which will be square root of x squared plus 1 plus square root of x squared minus 1 divided by the same expression, square root of x squared plus 1 plus square root of x squared minus 1. You will see what will be the benefit of doing this, because now what happens, this numerator, when multiplied with this numerator, it becomes the same numerator squared because they are exactly the same expressions. So this becomes square root of x squared plus 1 plus square root of x squared minus 1 to the power of 2, and all over divided by the denominator. This is a conjugate pattern, so it becomes the first one squared, which allows me to get rid of this square root sign, and it gives me x squared plus 1 simply, minus the second one squared, and again for the same reason it becomes simply just x squared minus 1. Okay, but now what I will do, I will open up the numerator. What happens? The first one squared, 2 times the first one times the second one, and plus the second one squared. So let me write it down. The first one squared is just simply x squared plus 1 plus 2 times the first one times the second one plus the second one squared. And then in the denominator, if I open up the pair of brackets, it becomes x squared plus 1 minus x squared, but minus 1 becomes plus 1 again. Okay, so now what happens, this term here, x squared, and this x squared will be combined to simply 2x squared. And then this minus 1 here at the end and this plus 1 here are cancelled. And this expression can be combined, because if I have a square root of a times square root of b, then I can write it as square root of a times b. Okay, but when I multiply this by that, it will make another conjugate rule. So it becomes the first one squared, which will be x to the power of 4 minus the second one squared, which is exactly 1 again. Okay, so I will simplify things a little bit. So this becomes plus 2 square root of x to the power of 4 minus 1, and in the denominator x squared and x squared are now cancelled, and then 1 plus 1 simply becomes 2. And now I factor a 2 out in the numerator, which becomes x squared plus the square root of x to the power of 4 minus 1, everything divided by 2, and then 2 and 2 are cancelled. Finally, I get a very simple function. Yes, so my function will be f of x equals to x squared plus the square root of x to the power of 4 minus 1. Okay, so now I start differentiation. So far I haven't even started differentiation. I have used my energy to simplify my function, but now it is worth, because you can see that the form of the function is very simple. So if I want to differentiate the function, the derivative of the first function, extremely simple, is 2x, and for the second one I want to use this very famous differentiation formula, that if u is a function of x and I want to differentiate the square root of u, the answer becomes u prime divided by 2 square root of u. Yes, so I will use that by giving the role of u to this expression. It becomes square root of u. So now the answer becomes plus u prime, which is this expression, divided by 2 times square root of u. Yes, but this can be simplified. 2x, the derivative of x to power 4 is 4x cubed, divided by 2 square root of x to the power of 4 minus 1, and then these 2 and that 4 are simplified, so 2 is left here. So finally I will have my answer, that the derivative of f of x is equal to 2x plus 2x cubed divided by a square root of x to the power of 4 minus 1. And this is the derivative of this function. I hope that this video was useful for you. Until the next video, be safe and goodbye. Thank you.